Joining us now, Democratic Governor of Maryland, Wes Moore. And Wes, you've made history in the state, the first black governor, and want to talk to you a little bit about, what your plans are. But first, let's talk about this. You obviously are governor of a state that has cities that has seen its own issues with police violence. What questions come to mind in light of what we have seen in the video from this Memphis murder?
I mean, that video is horrific. And I say that as not only the state's governor and the only black governor in this country, but as a human being. The level of barbarism that they showed, that these individuals showed to Mr. Nichols is just it's beyond comprehension. And the fact is, we would be outraged if that was anybody. But the people who did it to him were people whose job it was to protect him.
Yeah.
And so, it goes to show that, that the culture that we still have to unearth and that we have to address, that it is about how exactly are we making sure that we are getting the right people in these seats with the right reforms. It's one of the reasons why, in our budget, we actually released $122 million for local law enforcement with a specific focus on things like recruitment and retaining good officers and what does training look like. But also, we've got to address some of these laws still, where, as Dr. King said, laws don't change the heart, but they protect me from the heartless. And so we have to be able to address things like how are we thinking about reform for the justification for policing stops and for traffic stops? What is the Attorney General's right to be able to prosecute and intervene? And so I'm thankful that we have a department here that did move quickly, and that we have the Department of Justice that's involved in this. But it's just another very unneeded reminder about the kind of reforms that we still have to see to create that level of support and trust within community and law enforcement.
I started to say West, but I have to say Governor West now. But
yes, you
do. As you outline about the training and the culture, and you and I have worked together on police reform. The other part of this is the kind of policeman, but the dehumanizing of blacks, even by blacks in law enforcement. Yes. You had the great case right there in Maryland before you were governor where black officers were involved. Just adding blacks or having diversity is not enough if we're not dealing with what policing is and what the laws are, because these were 5 black cops that did this to him, that I don't think they would have done it if he was white, but notwithstanding that, if he was white, they shouldn't be able to do this.
Reverend Al, you're absolutely right. And I think that's why I would caution anyone to simply say, well, the answer to this is that we have to have a greater level of diversification within the police force. That's not the answer, because the thing that we continue to see is that, you can have the variable of who the law enforcement officer is. That could change. The challenge is, the thing that's not changing is oftentimes the color of the victim in these type of cases, in these type of crimes. And so the thing that we have to make sure is that as we're having law enforcement who are going on, and again, who are doing really important and necessary work and have to have those levels of supports, we also have to understand that the training that comes in, the cultural training that comes in, that we have laws that are appropriate, and that the training is actually helping people and preparing people for the situations that they're going to encounter once they're on the job.
Governor Moore, good morning. Jonathan Lemire. Want to shift gears here. President Biden's on a bit of a tour this week, touting his infrastructure bill and progress being made. Yeah. He'll be in New York City tomorrow. He's in your state, Baltimore, today. Tell us about the project which he will visit and why it's so important to your state.
Yes, we're very, very excited to welcome the president back to Maryland, and we're now 9 days in. We've started fast, and we're just getting started. But we're really excited to welcome the president here, where together we're going to jointly announce innovation and a development of something called the B&P Tunnel, or recently renamed the Frederick Douglass Tunnel, which is going to be a historic investment in mass transit within within Maryland, it's going to create about 30,000 jobs, 20,000 construction jobs. So this truly is about employment. It's about economic growth. And also by making these enhancements in this tunnel, we're going to increase speed of transit and also reliability. So we're very excited about the partnership that we've continued to foster with the federal government, and really looking forward to this being the first of many rollouts that we're going to have between Maryland and how we think about our transportation future going forward.
So, Governor, this beyond investment in infrastructure, give us an outline, if you will, about some of your priorities here as your term begins. Certainly your election was historic, but now the work begins. What are some of the things you're hoping to tackle first? What are the biggest challenges facing your state?
Well, if you look at the first days, literally the first day that we're in office, signed an order to release $69 million of funds of previously unreleased funds that focus on everything from climate change to the equitable rollout of the cannabis industry to ensuring that we are actually having training and supports for providers who are providing abortion supports. Because when we said that Maryland is going to be a safe haven for abortion rights, I meant it. And also, literally, our first executive order was the creation of a department focusing on service and civic innovation, where we want all Marylanders to know that we need their fingerprints on the future of this state, that Maryland will be the state that serves, and this is actually going to be the home of the service year option, that Maryland will be the first state in this country to have, where we're providing the opportunity for all high school graduates to have a year of service to the state of Maryland. So we're going to focus on economic growth. We're going to focus on making sure that we can be a state that is both more competitive and also more equitable. And we're starting off on day one to be able to make sure that that becomes a reality for the people of this state.
Governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, thank you. Congratulations. I haven't seen you since you became governor, but congratulations. And it's really great to have you on the show this morning.
It's great to be with you all. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. And still.